The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. Listen to this convincing proof of Camel mildness.
Hundreds of men and women from coast to coast smoked only Camels for 30 days. Every week, leading throat specialists made thorough examinations of their throats. The throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Start your own 30-day Camel mildness test. Let your throat tell you how mild Camels are, day after day. Then you'll know why Camel is by far America's most popular cigarette. Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Raining cats and dogs. A busy day for the Humane Society. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a... Music's ready. Diamond Detective Agency. We solve all crimes. We frown on sin. But the weather is awful and we'd rather stay in.
Who wouldn't?
Oh, hi, Helen.
Hi.
Did you like that slogan?
Yeah. It gives me an idea. I want to report a crime.
Well, hide the body till tomorrow, dear. It's raining.
You can lose your license with an attitude like that.
Oh, baby, you certainly know where I'm ticklish. Where's the crime?
You're still single. So am I.
Well, in your case, that is a crime. In mine, it's just a misdemeanor. Anyway, I can't discuss an assignment I'm still working on.
I'll help you solve it. I want to give myself up.
Sorry, no case.
Why not?
I've seen you in an evening dress. Nobody could pin anything on you.
Would it interest you to know the piano tuner is here and very good looking?
Pulling wires will get you nowhere. Is my picture still on the piano? The one where I look like a tough detective?
No, I threw it in the fireplace. I love to sit by the fire and dream of you. Besides... Oh, did it thunder down there?
Yeah. Small world, isn't it? I've got to hang up, dear. Got work to do.
Well, come over tonight. You can try the piano and my patience. What work have you got to do?
Have to fill my lighter and dry my shoes.
What are you talking about?
I smashed my car up in a collision and had to walk to work. Work, he said, smiling through his tears.
Where's your car now?
In Larson's garage.
You need a rich wife who can give you a chauffeur.
Hang up, doll. You're getting too near my price. Bye.
Bye.
I looked at the door, hoping a wealthy client with an easy case would walk in. When that Connecticut car with a lemon-headed driver folded my fenders an hour before, I knew I was in for a repair job that would spring my bill clip. So I called the garage to see whether I should start saving up for it or just jump out of the window.
Larson's garage.
Larson? Diamond speaking. How does it look?
Looks like you're going to be a pedestrian for about 3 weeks, Mr. Diamond. But it ain't all bad. The frame's out of line only a couple inches.
Save the silver lining for the brake drums, Junior. You never called me Mr. Diamond unless there's going to be more than $100. How much, roughly?
Oh, I'd say 250.
I said roughly, not brutally.
Anyway, why are you calling me up, Diamond? Didn't your guy tell you?
My guy?
Yeah, the big boy you sent over to get your stuff out of the car.
Wait a minute. Did he say I sent him...
Hang up, Diamond. Stop talking and hang up.
Have a chair, friend. Be with you in a moment. Larson, was this guy of mine a thick-set, moronic-looking oaf with a greasy hat and a broken nose?
The next one is through your ears, Diamond. Hang up.
I'll talk to you later, Larson. I just heard a report that requires my attention. Do you realize, friend, that you made a big hole in my wastebasket? I suppose I wanted to fill it with water to wash my hair. How could I...
Stop! Where is it? I said, where is it? Talk!
You told me to shut up. You can't have it both ways. Friend, I've had a bad morning. My car is smashed up, and my feet are wet, and things look bad in Egypt. As the old song says, I love a charade, but not this much.
Don't play cozy. The stuff in your car.
Oh. Well, now, let me think. There was a box of cleansing tissues in the glove compartment, some golf clubs in the trunk, probably some hairpins down behind the seat. I've told that girl 100 times.
After the wreck. After the wreck. Everybody was throwing stuff back in the car. We want the brown envelope.
Brown envelope? Friend, I never saw it.
No.
Scout's honor. See, I'll cross my hide
Keep
and...
your hands down.
Homicide, Lieutenant Levinson speaking.
Rick Walt, get over here right away.
I'm busy.
You better get over here. I've done it again. There's a dead man in my office.
What?
Just get over here and bring me a new wastebasket.
Yeah, I know him. Paul Scannell, hoodlum, third class. Car stripper, nightclub bouncer, Central Park mugger, and manic depressive about town. Last arrest 2 years ago. They didn't want him for anything right now.
You could have had him for assaulting wastebaskets. Who was he with?
I don't know. He's been out of circulation. What makes you think he was with anybody?
Plural personal pronoun. He said, we want the envelope.
You and your education. You hadn't been a little faster than he was, you'd be getting your doctor's degree right now. Incidentally, were you expecting something?
Only the usual things, death and taxes. 2 men with whiskers. Why?
Wearing your clavicle gun in the office, out of character. Comfort-loving type.
A shrewd observation, Walter. And it was. Normally, I'd have shucked the gun the minute I got in the office. When my car got hit, the pistol was knocked out of the clip under the dash, so I stuck it in my shoulder holster. There were 6 police officers and 1,300 helpful citizens on the scene, and I didn't want to linger for extra questions. I told Walt about Scannell going through my car at Larson's garage. He looked thoughtful, and when Walt looks thoughtful, he's thinking. The police force could use a lot of Levinsons.
Brown envelope with murder in it. Rick, there's more of this than a traffic brawl. What did you bring here from the scene?
Just my wet feet and my briefcase. The one I always carry to make me look businesslike.
You couldn't look businesslike if you carried a cash register. Look, let's reconstruct a little. Take it from the crash.
Okay. Slippery streets. A gray coupe with Connecticut plates came barreling through the stoplight. I tried to get over, but there was a curbstone and a 30-story office building in the way. Remind me to write my congressman about the real estate lobby.
You mention my name, you'll get a nasty answer. Go on, will you?
Well, we smacked. You mean you didn't hear it? Only 24 blocks away?
Oh, sure, but I thought it was just another atom bomb.
Well, 4 doors flew open, 2 on my car, 2 on the gray coupe, stuff all over the street. Papers, spare parts, broken glass, my bridge work, the usual debris. While the other driver and I were exchanging information and insults, a few warm-hearted bystanders, seeing there's nothing worth stealing, threw the stuff back into the cars. Mine was all the way to the garage.
How about the other fellas?
The other fellow was a girl. Well, you may say so, officer. Platter of goodies. Friendly, too, in a nervous sort of way.
Did you get a name and address?
Certainly. You think I'm an idiot?
I can't answer that without breaking up a beautiful friendship. Where's the data?
This stuff is in my briefcase.
Where's the briefcase?
In my desk. And don't ask me where the desk is. You're sitting on it. Here.
Give me.
Take.
What a mess. Reminds me of my wife's handbag.
I would know. I've never been in your wife's handbag.
Mr. Diamond, this is business. Shall we examine the contents of the briefcase?
Pray do.
Thank you. Item, paperback book. A weekend painter. Planning on painting a weekend?
Man's entitled to a hobby if he ever gets time for it, which he doesn't.
Item, notebook, black.
Keep out of that.
Killjoy. Item, book of matches, no printing. Item, clip of cartridges. Item, card notifying a dental appointment this morning.
Couldn't make it. Have to cross that bridge work when I find it.
Yeah. Well, that's all there is. No brown envelope.
No, I wouldn't have a brown envelope. I've used that color. It makes me look sallow.
You're not much help.
Well, do something, Fatty. Something. Why don't you just send all my envelopes to the lab and get the glue analyzed? I had a horse last week that dropped dead in the far turn, and I... Diamond Detective Agency, detecting done by day or night and holidays, if the fee is right.
Diamond, this is Sergeant Fraser. Is Lieutenant Levinson there?
Yeah, he's here in a briefcase. For you, Walt.
Thanks. Levinson.
Fraser here.
No, hi.
That express company robbery that happened this morning, we picked up the Getaway car. Thought you'd want to know right away.
Yeah, thanks, Sergeant. Car abandoned?
Yeah, seemed to be pretty smashed up, too. Front end all banged in. Gray coupe with Connecticut plates.
Okay, hold it for a route. Wait a minute. Gray coupe could... Rick, that car you banged into this morning, gray coupe, Connecticut plates?
That's right. Why?
Tell you in a minute. Sergeant.
Yeah?
Get with the traffic bureau. I want everything on the collision at Madison and 43rd. Everything, including a weather report.
Rain, followed by Saturday and Sunday.
And Fraser.
Yes, sir.
The driver of the car. Get out a warrant for... Rick, what did the driver give her name as?
Markham. Dora Markham, housewife.
Dora Markham, Sergeant. Probably phony, but make it out anyway. I'll be back at the office soon. Rick, this accident of yours is something big.
You should see my repair bill.
Shut up and listen, will you? This is serious. Early this morning, the Huxley Express Company was robbed of $600,000.
Wow.
Yeah, now get this. The car you smashed into was the Getaway car. Whoever this dame is who was driving, she's tied in somehow with the gang who pulled the job.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fatty, this is all very enlightening, but go a little farther. Why did this Scannell guy come here looking for a brown envelope?
I don't know, but I'm going back to the precinct. This is the first break we've had on this case. And you better keep your eyes open and that gun in your shoulder holster.
Can't. Crushes my camels every time I stoop over.
Oh, Rick, for the last time, this is no joking matter. For some reason, that gang thinks you have a brown envelope. That envelope means enough to them to kill for it. Ricky, my boy, up to now, you've been shot with luck. Don't crowd it.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
Here's the one sensible test of cigarette mildness.
Smoke only Camels for 30 days. Pack after pack, you'll enjoy the full, rich flavor that's found only in Camels.
And through steady smoking, the only sensible way to judge a cigarette. You'll see for yourself how mild Camels are, how well Camels agree with your throat.
In a test supervised by noted throat specialists, hundreds of men and women from coast to coast smoked only Camels for 30 days. The throat specialists made more than 2,000 careful weekly examinations of the throats of these smokers, and they reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
That's conclusive proof of Camel's mildness.
Start tonight to make your own Camel 30-day mildness test. Make Camels your steady smoke, and you'll discover just why Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Smoke Camels and see.
And now, back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Up until now, as the man said, I had been shot and shot at with luck. I was in the middle of something, but didn't know what. After Levinson left, I sat and stared out the window. It didn't work any harder than that until the phone rang. Diamond Detective Agency, we try to please... Hello? 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 Oh, well, maybe it was the wrong number. Or maybe it was somebody wanting to be sure I was here. I felt like a new clay pipe in a shooting gallery waiting for the sailors on Saturday night. It was a nice little office, but I suddenly didn't like it. I thought I'd go ask Helen about the piano tuner. I liked that idea. So I got up, packed my briefcase, shoved my stuff back in it, and as I zipped it shut, my hand felt a piece of paper stuck underneath it. It was the brown envelope. I got to work on it, and inside was a baggage check, and written on the back of it were 2 words, Blue Duck. I was just getting...
Don't bother, Mr. Diamond. Just give it to me.
Well, hello, Dora Markham, housewife.
I'm not as stupid as Paul Scannell, Mr. Diamond. Also, I'm better shot.
Well, he wasn't too bad. Got my wastebasket right between
You talk too much. Get up, turn around, and take off your coat.
Oh, do I have to? It's so pretty. My shirt's wrinkled on account of the rain. And
Take it off, or the coroner will cut it off.
Oh, I should have sent you in the first place, Dora. You're much more convincing. Okay, it's off. Look, you're a housewife. There's a button loose on the left sleeve, and
The trousers off.
Oh, now, Dora.
The door is closed, and there's a silencer on this gun. I'd love to silence a noisy detective who tried to move in on a off diamond.
Yes, ma'am. Gypsy Rose Diamond. A pretty girl is like a melody.
How have you ever lived this long?
Fresh air, hard work, and green vegetables. Let me show you my diet list. I have it right
Stay
here.
away from that desk. Now, hand me your coat and trousers. Thank you. Turn around. Walk to the wall with your hands up. Up high. At the next tone signal, Diamond, your phone is being disconnected.
Dora, you're wonderful. I could go for a strong girl like you, and I would, too, if you didn't have that... Well, you could have said goodbye. Richard Diamond, detective, with no pants. A private eye welcoming his privacy. I looked for the brown envelope. Gone with my wardrobe. I looked at the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell couldn't have fixed it with Don Amici handing in the pliers. I peered out into the corridor. No one in sight. Not even an insurance agent or a typewriter salesman. This alone was making history. I wondered if I could trot through the streets to the 5th Precinct pretending to be a cross-country runner. No, not in blue silk shorts. I sat down and waited. And waited. And waited. I tried telepathy. Helen, I thought, come and get me and bring me a pair of trousers. Helen, I concentrated. It's Rick. The rain must have done something to Helen's antenna, so I concentrated on Walt. Walt, I thought, and Walt walked in. Well, you're a more sensitive type than I thought, Walt. Did you bring me some trousers?
Some trousers? What's coming off here?
The straight line was too easy, so I passed it up. I told Walt about Dora the housewife and the brown envelope and the baggage check inside it.
Anything else?
Yeah, 2 words written on the back of the check. Said, Blue Duck. About that time, Dora interrupted me with her old clothes campaign.
Blue Duck. Never heard that before. Blue Duck.
Well, there used to be a Blue Duck nightclub in the West 20s, a real hog wallop. Closed up a year ago for selling to minors.
Keep talking.
All right. But I'll be ad-libbing in a minute. The only thing I know about it is that it was run by Sis Madison and her husband. It was quite a joint. Hey. Yeah? Sis Madison. That's Dora Markham, housewife with a lemon rents and a new name.
This begins to add up. That guy you killed in your office used to work for Sis Matson. There were 3 people spotted in that Huxley Express robbery. Dave and 2 guys.
Oh, could have been Sis Madison, her husband, and Skinnell.
This is very interesting.
I'll tell you something else very interesting.
What?
I'm freezing. Or is that only interesting to me?
Wait a minute. Fraser. There's a cleaning and pressing shop halfway up the block. Go see if Mr. Diamond's coat and pants are there.
Gray tweed, name in the inside pocket. Get with it, son.
Fitting shop, Diamond's coat and pants. Yes, sir.
How did you know, Fatty?
Oh, sheer genius. Besides, it's logical. I don't think she'd want to haul them all over town or be seen stuffing them into a garbage can.
Why not? That's where I got them.
Blue Duck. I hope you're sure that's what you read on the back of that check.
I'm sure, but it's been closed for years.
Well, we're going down there and open it up.
No.
No what?
No pants.
Don't be so modest.
I'm not modest. I'm cold.
Stand over there. That's it. Come in.
Hey, watch it, Lieutenant. It's just me.
Okay, Fraser. Got Mr. Diamond's clothes?
Yes, sir. All pressed nice, too. Another 10 minutes, the guy would have brought him up here himself.
Really?
Yeah. The lady said her father was waiting for him.
Her father? Walt, give me a gun. This gang will stoop to anything. 10 minutes later, we were on our way to an ex-nightclub, the Blue Duck. I sat in front of Levinson's car, trying not to wrinkle my well-pressed trousers. We pulled up half a block from the one-time nightclub.
Where are all the cars? I thought this'd be a bigger party. The place isn't a Blue Duck, it's a dead duck.
Maybe it's a bigger party than it looks.
Where are you looking?
For a bright cop, Fatty, you're a little dull. But everything points to this little bistro, so we'll just...
I know. Take a gander at the duck. Gander at the duck.
I heard it the first time. Tell me, Walt, this $600,000, is there a reward?
A reward? Why, you...
Keep your voice down, officer, while you tell me who put you on at the Blue Duck and Sis Matson. Who got shot at, stripped, humiliated, wrecked? Who split 50-50 with the police pension fund?
You should have brought your briefcase. You are a businessman. Come on. Yeah, duck, all right. I don't think this joint was ever alive.
Maybe they went to a movie. After all, a housewife is entitled to a little recreation, and I don't...
No way. This place has been closed for years. Nobody here.
We want to look around a little.
There ain't nobody here, I told you.
We'll come in anyway.
Walt, get the old guy to turn on some lights.
Ain't no lights.
Must be some lights, Pop. How do you get your reading done?
I spend my time minding my own business. Sonny, not a bad idea for you either.
You don't mean you think I'm Snoopy?
Nothing to see here. Now get out.
We're police officers, Pop. Now find the lights and stop talking so much.
What do you want anyway?
Lights. Didn't you hear what the man said?
All right. Here's the switch.
Place looks like it was never open.
What do you expect, dancing girls?
You're pretty fresh, you know it. I got half a mind to run you in.
Now, hold it, Walt. You don't want him.
You said it.
Who pays you, Pop?
I don't know. They mail it to me.
Yeah, sure. What's under those stairs?
Tables and chairs.
What's on the second floor?
Nothing. Used to be the office.
I'd like to take a look at it. Come on, Walt.
Okay. Come on, Pop.
I'll stay here.
You'll come with us.
It's bad for my heart climbing up and down stairs.
You don't think maybe there's somebody in the office, do you, Pop?
The place is empty, I tell you.
Come on. Keep up with us, Pop. Are you scared of your heart?
No.
Scared of anything else?
No.
Well, I am. Hold it.
What, Walt?
I heard something.
Rat.
Maybe.
Walt, get down. Rats, huh? Yeah, I guess that fits.
Who's upstairs, Pop?
I don't know, I told you.
They're going to get him, whoever it is. You might as well start talking.
I don't want no trouble.
Now, look, you...
Walt, start firing up toward that landing. Keep him busy. I'll try to get beside the staircase.
Yeah.
For Pete's sake, shoot high.
You figure it's Sis Matson and her husband?
Yeah, I'll start firing. High toward the landing. I started crawling under Walt's fire toward the stairs. I was getting sore. First, this Sis Matson steals my pants, and now she makes me muss them up. 15 snail crawls later, I was beside the staircase and had a good view of the landing. I could see the man who must be Sis's husband crouched down and firing toward Walt. I raised up. Matson, drop it. Okay, pal.
Good shot, Rick.
Yeah, but not good enough.
All right, Matson, stop shooting. Drop the gun. You've had it.
Come on down here. That's a good boy. Now, where's your wife, Matson?
Who?
Sis Matson.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Your wife, Matson. Come on, don't stall.
Look, you hit me. Get me to a hospital. I'm hurt bad.
Did you hear him say anything, Walt?
Yeah, but I can't make it out.
Look, you guys, this ain't legal. You got to get me to a doc.
Might be able to understand him if he talked about Sis, though.
Yeah, what about it, Matson?
Look, I don't know. Get me to a doc. I'll talk later.
You'll talk now. You lay right there until you do.
Hold on, Mike. The car pulled up outside. See the lights through the window?
Yeah. Quiet.
Sis, get out!
What?
Hold it, honey. Cover, Walt.
What is this?
Diamond's the name, Sis. Or maybe you don't recognize me with my pants on.
Freak. What have you done to him?
Only a flesh wound, but he thinks he's bleeding to death.
Ah, nice suitcase you got there, Sis. And it was. When I opened it, I half expected to find a collection of men's trousers, but instead, I found stacks of my favorite color, green. You know, most ducks have only one bill. But lying on the floor of the blue duck in a suitcase were 600,000 of them. It had been a colorful day. Gray weather, brown envelopes, blue ducks, and green money.
Rick,
Yes, Ellen?
there wasn't any piano tuner here.
Oh, that's too bad.
Too bad.
Mm-hmm. Listen to middle C. Off a full 30 seconds.
I'll call a tuner tomorrow.
I'll call one. I know a dandy. 73 years old. Tuned pianos for Caruso.
Caruso. Ooh.
Now, easy. You'll hurt Lanza's feelings. When you are in love, it's the loveliest night of the year.
Good night.
Stars twinkle above, and you almost can touch them from here.
Yeah, long arms.
You're reaching. Words fall into rhyme anytime you are holding me near. When you are in love, it's the loveliest night of the year. Let's dance. Waltzing along in a blue, like a breeze drifting over the sand. Thrilled by the wonder of you and the wonderful touch of your hand. And my heart starts to beat like a child when a birthday is near. So kiss me, my sweet.
Is that an invitation?
Oh, it's the loveliest night of the year. Like it?
Yeah.
What are you staring at?
You? Flattering to me when you show up with your clothes so well pressed. I think I'll kiss you.
Goody.
You need a woman like me, Rick.
There is no woman like you, Helen.
I know it. So you better grab me while I'm available.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
Here's a wonderful Christmas shopping tip.
Give cartons of Camels as Christmas gifts.
Camel makes it easy for you with a special Christmas gift carton. It's beautifully designed in holiday colors and has a built-in greeting card right on top of the carton.
Be sure to give plenty of Camels this Christmas. It's America's most popular cigarette by billions.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, every week the makers of Camel cigarettes send thousands of packs of Camels to military hospitals and veterans. That's to help show hospitalized men and women of the armed forces that folks at home haven't forgotten them. This week, the free packs of Camels go to Veterans Hospitals, Marion, Indiana, and Sheridan, Wyoming, U.S. Army Station Hospital, Camp Gordon, Georgia, and U.S. Naval Hospital Ship Repose. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can now be seen starring in the Universal International film You Never Can Tell. Tonight's transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond was written by Dick Quentin, with music by Frank Worth. Our director was Nat Wolf. Virginia Gregg played the part of Helen Asher, and Alan Reed was Lieutenant Levinson. Others in the cast were Kay Stewart, Herb Butterfield, Herb Ellis, and Bob O'Connor.
The bite is out and the pleasure's in when you smoke Prince Albert. It's specially treated not to bite your tongue. The bite is out and the pleasure's in.
That's why pipe smokers will be delighted with Prince Albert for Christmas. The big 1-pound tin of Prince Albert comes in a gaily designed holiday package that needs no wrapping. Just write your greeting on the built-in card and present Prince Albert to delighted pipe smokers.
Listen next week for another exciting adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. How mild can a cigarette be?
One puff won't tell you.
One sniff won't tell you.
It takes day in, day out smoking to find out how mild a cigarette is, how well it agrees with your throat. Make the sensible cigarette test, the thorough test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and see just how mild a cigarette can be.
Here, transcribed, is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was cold out, and it had been raining. When it got a little warmer, it would probably snow. The whole city was covered with a heavy sheet of ice, and the steam heat in my office gurgled and clouded up the windows. I was feeling pretty good. I was warm. I'd had one client in the past week, and my bank account was on its way to recovery, and a good breakfast in the drugstore downstairs had made me comfortable and drowsy. I put my feet up on the desk, leaned back in my chair, and closed my eyes.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond?
I must have been napping and didn't know it. I hadn't heard the door open, but there he stood, framed in the door, resting his weight on the jamb, and looking across the room at me with tired eyes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes, what can I do for you?
My name is Abel Gunther. I want to hire you.
All right, Mr. Gunther, I charge $100 a day in expenses.
I don't think I can pay it. I can pay you some, but I don't think I can pay you that much.
Well, that's my fee for you or a Rockefeller. I got expenses.
I see. Well, I'll keep looking. I need help. Perhaps you could recommend someone?
You'll pardon me for saying so, but you don't look too well, Mr. Gunther.
I'm pretty sick, Mr. Diamond.
Maybe you'd better sit down and tell me what your problem is.
I can't afford the money.
That's all right. Tell me about it anyway.
I think I had better sit down.
Yes, you better. What's wrong? You got the flu or something?
No. I'm afraid it's a little more serious. Would you really like to hear my story?
I think I really would.
I'm a farmer, Mr. Diamond. My home is Haiti, near Saint-Nazaire.
Haiti?
Yes, the West Indies. I was born there, raised there. My parents died when I was 13. I have a wife. She's there now, and she's the main reason I have come here seeking help. My wife is dying, Mr. Diamond. I must get help quickly before it is too late. I have a farm.
He kept talking, telling me about his life on Haiti. He told me about his farm, a fairly good-sized farm by his description. He told me how in the past 2 years things began to go wrong on his farm. And soon all the farms in the area were also having trouble.
The cane fields would burn every year. Then it was the cattle. One by one, they became sick. Then my wife, and now me.
And you don't know what's wrong with either of you, huh?
Yes and no. My Christian religion fights it, but my life on Haiti has taught me deep respect for it.
Respect for what?
Voodoo, Mr. Diamond. Oh, I know just what you're thinking. But a doctor in Haiti has examined my wife and can find nothing wrong.
Well, I don't particularly believe in anything like that, Mr. Gunther. But if you do, why have you come to me?
I said I have a healthy respect for it. I don't entirely believe it, but some of the things I've seen make it difficult to disbelieve. I came to you because I suspect a possibility of something more. Immediately after my wife was taken ill, I received an offer for my farm, a very low offer from a Saint-Nazaire banker. I investigated, found it had been made in the interests of one Arthur Cotswold.
Arthur Cotswold?
Haiti's biggest planter.
Oh. How about the other farmers?
They received offers like mine. Being the oldest farmer, the rest looked to me for guidance. I told them to wait. Then I came here to hire someone to look into the matter.
Would you like some water?
No. No, thank you. I'm all right.
Anyone else become ill besides you and your wife?
Yes. Several others. I have $368 in my ticket home. The money is yours if you will go to Haiti and investigate.
Have you been to a doctor here in New York?
No. Mr. Diamond here's directions how to get to my farm. My servant, little Shiva, is there. No one knows I came.
Mr. Gunther. Mr. Gunther!
Levinson Homicide.
Hello, Walt.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah. Better get up to my office. I've got a dead man for you.
Are you kidding?
That's what Gunther told me.
Voodoo?
Voodoo smoodoo. That's what the man said.
Now, steady, boy.
Oh, stop it, Walt. You know I don't believe it.
But you're going down to Haiti.
Well, somebody's got to tell the wife.
The local authorities can do that. Hey.
No, what's the matter?
The local authorities in Haiti. Why didn't Gunther go to them if he thought there was something phony about the setup?
You want an opinion?
If you can strain one out.
Well, Gunther probably didn't go to the Haiti authorities because he knew they'd think just what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm crazy.
Well, Gunther died in my office. He came a long way for help, and the poor guy wanted to give me his last $368. So I'm going to Haiti. I'll send you a zombie. Walt promised to send a wire and care of the authorities in Saint Leger as soon as he got an autopsy report on Mr. Gunther, and I headed for the airline's ticket office. By 8 o'clock that evening, I was in an airline's flagship at 12,000 feet heading for the West Indies and Haiti. The trip wasn't bad. We landed in Miami, where I grabbed a cup of coffee and then climbed aboard a clipper for Port-au-Prince. At Port-au-Prince, I took a bus to Saint Leger, and from there a beaten-up taxi to the Gunther farm about 10 miles into the country. As we neared the farm, I could see a crowd of people standing around in front of the house. And as I climbed out of the cab and approached them, they turned, and their hushed conversations were suddenly stilled. I didn't know what it was. No one said a word. But something was wrong. I could feel it. I walked through the crowd to the house and stopped cold as the door opened.
Who are you?
I'd never seen anything like him. He was a native, and he ducked his head as he stepped out of the door to face me. He was a good 7 feet tall, or maybe more, and must have weighed close to 300. He stood on his bare feet, his long, muscled arms hanging loosely at his sides, and looked at me with dark, shining eyes.
Me, little Chiva. Who are you?
Oh, me, very little Richard Diamond. Mr. Gunther hired me to come here.
You from New York?
Oh, yes. Mr. Gunther couldn't come back.
He died.
That's right. How did you know?
You come in?
Sure. What are all those people doing out there?
Their friend's madam. She died too.
Little Chiva led the way into the bedroom where Mrs. Gunther lay on the bed, covered with a fresh white sheet, her eyes closed in death, her face drawn and tired. Little Chiva told me she had died the day before, about 3 in the afternoon, and a cold chill ran up my back. I remembered her husband lying on the floor of my office about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before.
What do you do here?
Mr. Gunther wanted me to find out why the cattle are getting sick, why the fields are burning, why he and his wife became ill.
Bad voodoo.
Well, he thought it might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
He big man.
What are those drums?
For madam and mister. They voodoo. Good voodoo. Give blessing for spirit. For madam and mister.
Oh. You see, little Chiva, the Mr. Gunther wanted me to help him. He paid me money to help him and died asking for help. I'm going to try and do what I can.
The madam and Mr. Good people. Teach little Chiva.
They take little Chiva when he's small boy and make good life. You good man. Little Chiva help you.
Right then, I inherited little Chiva. And if there was going to be any trouble, the giant servant would certainly help to make up the difference. The first thing I wanted to do was contact the local authorities in Saint-Léger. And little Chiva told me my man was one Inspector Laplanche.
A very fine person, Mr. Gunther. I'm sorry he's dead.
Well, how'd everybody know he was dead?
On Haiti, things of such nature are never a secret. The natives know.
Voodoo?
Being a stranger to Haiti, Mr. Diamond, I expect you to be a skeptic.
But you believe in voodoo?
Let us say I've been in Haiti too long not to believe.
Well, Gunther thought the whole thing might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
I would suggest you forget Mr. Cotswold.
Then I suggest you give me a good reason to forget him.
Mr. Cotswold is a very big man on Haiti, the largest plantation owner on the West Indies, and a self-made man with a considerable temper.
Well, thanks for the advice, Inspector. But supposing I come up with something incriminating.
If Mr. Cotswold has breached the law, it would certainly be my duty to arrest him. But I am not considering the arrest. More, the necessary steps that would have to be taken to prove the guilt. Dangerous steps, Mr. Diamond. One might trip on those steps.
And break his neck.
Yes.
You like the middle of the road, huh?
It is much easier to see what is ahead.
It's possible to get run down from behind.
I do as much as I can to prevent that possibility. Example, my suggestion, you forget Mr. Cotswold.
I left the philosophical inspector and went outside where little Chiva had been waiting. Every time I looked at Chiva, it was like a little kid spotting the Empire State for the first time. He smiled a mouthful of white teeth as he said,
The inspector. He say forget Mr. Cotswold.
That's right. What do you think, little Chiva?
I think I do what you want.
You know what I want?
You want go see Cotswold.
Think I'm crazy?
You're not afraid. You're not strong like little Chiva. But little Chiva think of all the men he know, you would fight hardest.
I don't like to fight, little Chiva.
Little Chiva know that. We go see Cotswold.
Little Chiva led the way up a long, narrow road surrounded on both sides by high sugarcane fields. Somewhere from not too far away, I heard the drums start again. Little Chiva stopped, looked off to the north. He began moving his shoulders, slowly, keeping time to the steady rhythm of the drums. He began to sing softly.
Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui peut passer. Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui peut passer.
What does that mean, little Chiva?
It means in your language, it is our Papa who passes.
Papa?
Papa Damballa, the great source.
Voodoo?
Yes. Later I must leave you. Today is Wednesday. This is the day of Papa Damballa. Oh, hey, c'est Papa nous qui peut passer.
He continued his little chant until we reached the beginning of a long, high fence running along next to the narrow road. Chiva leaned down and swung a gate open. Then we walked up the path that led through the Cotswold property until we reached the house. There, sitting back between two huge trees, was the Cotswold mansion. I walked up to the front door alone.
Mr. Diamond.
Yes, Chiva?
Watch out for Mr. Jocelyn. He guard Cotswold.
Thanks, I'll do that.
What do you want?
I want to see Cotswold.
You do, eh? What you doing here, little Chiva?
I wait for Mister.
Found himself a new governor, what? You must be that fellow Diamond.
I must be.
Well, come in. Mr. Cotswold's been expecting you.
He introduced himself as Jocelyn and led the way into a large panel study. And I met the big man himself, Arthur Cotswold. The drums stopped.
Today is Wednesday. It belongs to the great god Damballa.
So I understand.
Most days of the week are significant in voodoo. Will you have a drink, Mr. Diamond?
No, thank you.
Jocelyn, mix me a gin and tonic.
Yes, Mr. Cotswold.
Thursday and Saturday belong to Uzile Frida, the goddess of love.
I'll have to remember that.
I know why you are here, Mr. Diamond.
I'm glad you do.
For some reason, Gunther and the rest of the miserable farmers think I'm responsible for their trouble.
Of course you're not.
I simply tried to help them. With their cattle sick and their crops gone, I had my banker make them an offer.
Have any of your cattle taken sick?
None.
Pretty strange.
Haiti is a strange land.
Now, you're not going to start talking voodoo.
You're a stranger, Mr. Diamond. There are many things that you would not understand, and I would certainly not try and convert you.
Well, I appreciate your interest, but I intend to find out why Gunther and his wife died.
This point I would most certainly give you advice on. Go home, Mr. Diamond. Leave well enough alone.
After I come up with an answer.
Mr. Diamond, I am not a patient man. I have gone out of my way to give you some healthy advice. Heed it. For your sake, heed it.
Well, thanks. I'll let you know what I find out.
You persist in this investigation?
I always persist. In fact, I'm the persistentist.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
The things we look for most in a cigarette are mildness and flavor. You'll find both of these things in Camels, day after day and pack after pack.
No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor, the flavor of costly tobaccos properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own 30-day Camel test. Not just a puff, not just a sniff, but normal smoking for about a month. You'll enjoy every puff, and you'll know without question how mild Camels are, how well they agree with your throat.
Yes, and you'll see why. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
I left Arthur Cotswold cooling his fit with a gin and tonic, went back to Chiva, and he led me back to town. On the way, I got an idea. When we arrived in town, I sent little Chiva back to the Gunther farm. Then I went in to talk to Inspector LaPlanche. The inspector had received a wire from one Lieutenant Walt Levinson, 5th Precinct, New York Police.
Well, I had no idea the New York police were interested in this affair.
They're always interested when someone drops dead. Now, here's something pretty interesting, Inspector. Mr. Gunther died of a disease known as brucellosis, commonly known in cattle as Bang's disease. Ever heard of it?
I am not a medical man, Mr. Diamond.
Well, it's undulant fever. Both Gunther and his wife probably caught it from their sick cattle.
What do you intend to do?
Well, I think those cattle were infected deliberately, and the cane fields burned purposely. If the cattle were infected deliberately, there must be some of the brucellosis still around, and I'm going to find it. Maybe at Mr. Cotswold's. I think you better issue a search warrant and come with me.
Mr. Diamond, the middle of the road, remember?
I think you'd better forget the middle of the road, Inspector. Unless you want me to get in touch with the authorities and have you held as a material witness in a murder case.
I will issue the warrant.
I kind of thought you would.
I will issue it, but you certainly do not think it will be enough to get you into the Cotswold house?
No, but it'll make it legal. I sent little Chiva back to collect some of his friends. They're going to help us get in that house, Inspector.
I will have no part of violence.
Oh, they won't even be with us. It would be easy to search the Cotswold place if Cotswold was out fighting a fire.
Fire?
Just a harmless fire, Inspector. But far enough away so that Cotswold will think it's his cane fields.
Oh, well, then I will certainly issue the warrant, Mr. Diamond. As long as we are going to do everything open and above board, I will certainly issue it.
Welcome back to the gutter, Inspector. The view isn't much, but you can't miss where you're going. Let's go get little Chiva.
What are all those natives doing at the Gunthers?
I don't know.
Looks like something's wrong.
We piled out of the car and pushed our way through the crowd of natives. Inside the house, we found what was wrong. Lying in the middle of the room was little Chifa. He was almost dead when I knelt beside him.
I talked to friends. They light fire for you.
Thanks, Chifa.
Now, Dambalowedo take me.
He's been stabbed.
Nearly cut him in two. They got him from behind. Never would have faced him.
You stay. You see, waitele non tete yamort.
See what? It is a ritual. It means taking the spirit from the head of the dead. He wants you to see it.
You stay. You believe voodoo.
All right, Chifa. I'll stay. Now, who did this to you?
Nazi. In back.
He's dead. The next few hours I'll never forget. The inspector knew what was coming, and he wanted no part of it, so he waited outside. I don't know whether I can describe it, but I'll try. And even though I saw it with my own eyes, I still don't quite believe it. The natives came into the house and picked up little Chifa. They placed him on a bench, and the ceremony began. Some of them had already obtained the necessary items used for Waitiloa non Teti Yum Mort. They included several live pigeons, olive oil, 30 pieces of fat pine wood, a pair of chickens, some coarse cornmeal, and a saddle blanket, and a large white plate. Little Chifa's body was covered by the blanket, and then the pigeons were killed and cooked without seasoning. The cornmeal was roasted, then placed in the white plate. The 30 slivers of pine wood were lighted and carried by the natives like candles. Then one of the natives took the white plate with the meal in one hand and the pot with the chicken in the other and approached the fire chanting a strange dirge. I nearly ran out with the screaming Mimis. As he finished the last line of the chant, the dead body of little Chifa sat straight up with straining eyes, bowed its head, and fell back.
You look a little pale, Mr. Diamond.
Well, I can't understand why. Probably because my blood's hiding in my feet.
What do you think of voodoo now?
Well, let's forget it, shall we? I haven't got the money for a good rest home.
Yeah. We are close to the Cotswolds.
Good. Let's park it here and wait until the fire starts. The inspector and I sat in the car and waited while the moon climbed up over the clouds and the drums in the distance tangled my nerves into complete knots. After about an hour of waiting, a dull glow to the south started the expected commotion in the Cotswold household, and we climbed out of the car.
Fire, Mr. Cotswold! The cane field! Fire! Get the servants! Get every man out there to fight that fire!
It had worked. The inspector and I stayed to the shadows until the last man went running out of the house. Then we went in. We worked as fast as we could. We took the place apart. And I must say, the timid inspector had really gotten out of the middle of the road. He tore the place apart like he'd spent most of his time on a wrecking crew.
I have not found a thing.
Oh, the house is clean.
There's a barn.
Then let's go. We went out of the house and headed for the barn about 50 yards away. The drums were louder now, and the dull glow of the fire had nearly vanished. It was obvious that the inspector and I had to work fast. He took one end of the barn, and I took the other. We worked toward each other. Just about the time I was ready to give the whole thing up.
Diamond! Diamond!
Inspector, you find something?
This hypodermic for cattle.
That's not enough.
This bottle hidden under this box.
Well, it's more like it. Let's get it back to town and have it analyzed.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Diamond.
Cotswold.
It was Cotswold, and he had 3 things on his side that made the situation very uncomfortable. His bodyguard, Jocelyn, and 2 guns. They stepped through the open door and moved up to us.
I see you found my secret, Mr. Diamond.
This is the stuff you've been infecting the cattle with. And this is what killed the Gunthers.
That's correct. You see, you should have really taken my advice and returned to the States.
You'll be held for murder, Cotswold.
Who will convict me, Mr. Diamond? No evidence, no one to testify. I'm surprised at you, Inspector. I thought you had more sense.
Sometimes a man finds his pride and does the best thing.
You know, of course, I can't allow either of you to live.
We had a hunch. Now tell me something. Who killed little Cheever?
He was getting to be a nuisance. I had Jocelyn here attend to the matter. What's that?
Diamond.
Mr. Cotswold, look!
Well, now, I want to tell you, I'd seen a lot that day, but that was just a little too much. The howl had come from the open door, and standing in it, framed against the yellow moon...
It's him! It's little Cheever!
No! But there he was, and he looked even bigger as he shuffled toward the two men, his arms swinging at his sides like two giant sledgehammers. He was going all the way. He hadn't just come back from the dead to sit up. He was taking a walk.
Get away! Get away! You're dead! Shoot him! Shoot him!
But Jocelyn was too terrified to even raise his arm. The big native reached out, grabbed him with both hands, and crushed him like an egg. For a minute, I was too stunned to move. Then when I saw Cotswold bring up his gun, I threw the bottle. It stopped him long enough for the big native to drop Jocelyn's limp body and charge in. Like an idiot, I had some stupid reason for wanting Cotswold alive, so I tried to head Cheever off. Ever tried to stop a freight train with both hands out? He brushed me off, and I crashed into the wall just as he grabbed Cotswold.
No! No!
He picked him up, raised him high over his head, and threw him the length of the barn.
Diamond, he's coming over here.
Now, look, old boy. It's me, Diamond. Little Cheever, please,
Me not little Cheever.
What?
I should have guessed.
Should have guessed what? What is this?
This is Big Cheever.
Big Cheever?
Me little Cheever's brother. Me pay back for kill little Cheever.
Oh, good gosh.
I never thought
Me big Cheever. Come, I take you back to Gunther house. Little Cheever say you good man. I be your servant.
Well, if you don't mind, I just think I'll head back for the States and lie in a warm tub of mud for the next 6 months. Tell me something, Big Cheever.
What do you want?
You don't have a big brother, do you?
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, according to a repeated nationwide survey.
Doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country, have again been asked what cigarette they smoked.
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, try Camels and discover for yourself the reasons behind Camel's great popularity. You'll enjoy Camel's rich flavor and cool mildness pack after pack and week after week.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Friends, nothing can boost your morale like a gift, especially if you're in a hospital bed. That's why the Camel people send gift cigarettes each week to hospitalized servicemen and veterans in this country and overseas. This week, Camels are on their way to Veterans Hospitals, Rutland Heights, Massachusetts, and Lyons, New Jersey, U.S. Naval Hospital, Quantico, Virginia, and to all hospitals operated by the Far East Command of the U.S. Air Force. Now until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Men, has your pipe got your tongue? Well, switch to Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke. PA's Choice Tobacco is specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Yes, and it's crimp cut, too, for smooth, burning, and cool smoking. Get Prince Albert, rich, flavorful, and with a delightful natural fragrance. It's America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. Mr. Diamond, Detective Agency.
What does the sign say on the door?
Diamond, Detective Agency.
Now read the second line, please.
Recommended good housekeeping.
And the last line, please.
Homicides delivered at the rear.
That's fine. 20/20 vision. Now, if you just hop around on 1 foot while I classify you in 1A, I'll see that you're on the next boat to the Aleutians.
Are you Diamond?
Are you a prospective client?
Yes.
I'm Diamond. I charge $100 a day in expenses.
You ever leave town, Mr. Diamond?
Occasionally, but I can never get used to the tar and feathers.
I'd like you to go to California with me.
Oh, just lonesome, or have you got a problem?
I represent a very wealthy man in Hollywood. He has a problem.
A very wealthy man, huh?
Millions.
I'd love to meet him.
I'll arrange it. When can you leave?
Well, now, that's a bit of a problem. Let's see. Close the office, do some packing, take care of a few engagements. It'll take me at least 13 minutes.
4 o'clock now. We can leave LaGuardia by 5.
You have the tickets already?
No tickets are necessary, Mr. Diamond. Mr. Harvey's private plane and pilot are standing by.
The gentleman's name turned out to be Kane, Fred Kane, from Beverly Hills, California. Obviously, representing a client with more than a cozy income. Private plane, private pilot, and worth millions. How cozy can you get? I called Helen, told her I'd send her a starlit swimming pool or something, and by 5:30 I was riding with Fred Kane in Mr. Harvey's private plane, headed for sunny California.
Comfortable?
Oh, I haven't seen furnishings like this since I got lost in the men's lounge at the Waldorf.
Drink?
Later. The time has come, the walrus said.
To talk of many things.
Right.
I represent Mr. George L. Harvey.
The big motion picture producer?
Yeah. He's being blackmailed.
Well, why come all the way to New York for me? You've got some pretty good boys in California. Spade, Novak. Of course, they haven't got my blue eyes.
GL didn't want any local talent brought in on this case. You were quite well known, even in California.
Oh, well, I can understand that.
GL thought it'd be a good idea to have an outsider helping him. Someone who wouldn't be recognized.
Okay, bless old GL and all his little millions. Now, who's blackmailing him?
GL will tell you everything himself when we get to California.
Fred Kane and I played gin for the next couple of hours, and we didn't talk any more about GL Harvey and his blackmail trouble. By 8:30, we were somewhere over Kansas, and I was getting sleepy, so I turned in. Around 6 the next morning, we landed in Burbank. I stepped out to get my first look at beautiful, wonderful, sunny California.
We'll have to run for it. GL will have a car waiting.
A car? I'm surprised at GL. I thought sure he'd meet us with his private life raft. The car was waiting all right, complete with chauffeur, footman, and dinghy. We plowed our way through 6 inches of early morning dew and headed for the Beverly Hills Hotel where I was supposed to stay. We arrived around 7, got me settled in my room, a tiny little affair that reminded me of a well-decorated roundhouse. Then we had breakfast, and by 10 o'clock I was standing in the offices of George L. Harvey, Hollywood producer.
Glad you're here, Diamond. Have a seat.
Thank you. You haven't got an old ringer around you, have you?
Nasty weather, isn't it? It'll clear up. Got to. Can't stay on a cover set all week. Schedule's too tight.
Cover set?
GL shooting a new picture. If the company has some unexpected bad weather and they're shooting exteriors, they have a cover set and they can move into and shoot some interior scenes.
Oh.
You interested in motion pictures, Diamond?
Well, I see a few. Right now, I'm more interested in blackmail, Mr. Harvey.
Oh, yes. Well, here's the setup. Fred here introduced me to a girl about a month ago, Mary Conrad.
And now she's got you on the hook.
Very much on the hook. Pretty girl. No, more than that. Beautiful. Brunette, about 5'6". Well, she's...
Beautiful.
We became very, well...
Friendly.
Yes. I'm married, Mr. Diamond. My wife doesn't know anything about this.
Unless Mary Conrad tells her.
Yes, and she's threatened to do just that.
Unless you kick through or something.
Yes.
Money?
Yes, $100,000.
Oh, that's a nice round sum. Fred should be more careful about the girls he introduces you to.
I had no way of knowing, Diamond. I met the girl in Las Vegas. 2 weeks later, I met her at a party down here.
Just as much my fault. I saw her with Fred and wanted an introduction.
And you got it. $100,000. How do you do?
Yes.
You wanted me to get something on her or to get the evidence back?
Well, yes.
So wonder you don't get into more trouble, GL. You just don't know how to say no. It was pretty obvious that I'd have to meet the blackmailer, so a party was arranged by Fred Kane at GL's beach house, and without GL's presence, so I could get acquainted with the beautiful Mary Conrad. GL gave me a $200 retainer and blushed a little when I kissed him on both cheeks. Then Fred Kane sailed me back to the Beverly Hills, where he rented a car for me and told me how to get to the beach home. By 8 o'clock that evening, I was driving down the Coast Highway on the way to Malibu. I couldn't get over it. The rain had stopped. There was a big yellow moon sitting up in a cloudless sky, and a warm breeze was blowing in off the Pacific. I even put the top down.
Hello, Diamond. Come on in.
Hey, what's with this weather? 1 minute it's pouring, and the next time it comes out like a travel folder.
We're just getting into the rainy season. It'll probably stay clear like this for at least a week.
Oh.
Give me your hat, and I'll take you in and introduce you to the guests.
That's what? A New York gumshoe out looking for a blackmailer?
Yeah, that's right. You're an agent.
Agent? I don't know anything about agents.
You like money, don't you?
That's my name, spelled backwards.
Then you're an agent.
It was a small little party. That is, of course, if you compared it to Ebbets Field during a World Series. GL's house was in the middle of what was known as Malibu Colony. That's a bunch of houses built right out on the sand and surrounded by money. Fred took me around and introduced me as an agent from New York and an old friend. I met everything from producers, writers, and directors to several well-known motion picture stars, one of which had her French poodle with her.
And this is Michelle, Mr. Diamond. Say hello to Mr. Diamond, Michelle.
Oh, oh! Oops, sorry. Great Dane. And on until finally we got around to my objective for the evening. And believe me, I'd enlist 3 times a week just to go after that kind of an objective. Brunette, about 5'6". When she looked up at me, I felt as nervous as a cat in a ukulele factory.
This is Mary Conrad, Mr. Diamond, Mary.
Hello.
Be nice to him. He's a big New York agent. I see some other guests now. Take care of him, Mary.
Looks like Fred is paired us off.
Well, he knows a good combination when he sees it. 2 best-looking people at the party. Of course, I'm prettier than you are.
How long have you known Fred?
Fred? Oh, years and years. We used to play stickball together over in Canarsie.
I thought Fred was a native Californian.
Well, oh, yes. Well, he is. He used to come all the way to New York just for the stickball. We had quite a team.
I'll bet you did. What position did you play?
I played left gutter. That's the dirty side of the street.
Oh.
How about a drink, huh? She showed me where the bar was, and we sat down and got acquainted. Then she showed me where the ocean was, and we took off our shoes and walked out on the sand. Then we sat down and really got acquainted.
It's nicer out here. I don't like parties much.
Oh, I like this one.
Compliment?
Naturally.
Thank you. How long are you going to be in California?
Oh, I don't know. It depends.
Business?
Yeah.
You're not having much fun, are you?
Oh, sure. I'm having a ball.
You're lonesome, aren't you?
Like 50 miles of dirt road.
Let's leave the party.
All right. Where to?
Well, my car's here, and it wouldn't be good to be seen leaving together. I'll go first, and you follow in about 5 minutes. You can pick me up at my house.
Score for Diamond. She gave me her address and told me how to get there. Then we walked back to the party, and she left. I gave the high sign to Kane, and in 5 minutes I followed. Mary Conrad's house was on the outskirts of Beverly Hills, south of Pico. There was a long, low, black sedan, the type a chauffeur usually drives, parked in front of the house. The same car that had picked me up at the airport that morning. And it belonged to G.L. Harvey. Before I could get parked, the door to the little house flew open, and old G.L. himself came barreling out like a squirrel with his tail on fire. GL! Mr. Harvey! Hey! Mr. Harvey!
Hey, what's the deal?
Oh, hello there, Mr. Harvey.
Diamond, did you get into the studio?
I went to your home first.
My home? You didn't talk to anyone?
Your car wasn't around, so I tried the studio. The cop at the gate wouldn't let me in, so I climbed a fence.
Climbed a fence?
It was better than having him call you. You might have wanted to see me.
I wanted to see you. Don't be foolish. Why not see you?
You often come to your office this late at night?
Look, Diamond, I saw you when you yelled at me in front of Mary Conrad's house.
Why didn't you stop?
I was too frightened. I was scared stiff. I suppose you found her.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Awful. Just awful.
I'll bet it was.
I thought about going home. I thought about a lot of places. I ended up here.
Did you kill her?
No. Of course I didn't kill her. She called me from Malibu, told me to meet her at her house. I got there before she did. She drove up and we went in. It was just awful.
You went in, then what?
She turned the living room light on and there was a shot. She looked kind of surprised and I was too stunned for a minute to really know what had happened. Then she just kind of looked at me like she wanted me to help. It was then I really got it. I knew she'd been shot. She fell and I rushed over to her. She died right there. Lying on the floor, looking up at me like... I don't know.
There was a gun beside her.
Was there? I didn't see it.
Well, here it is. Take a look at it. 45, one shot fired. Ever seen it before?
No.
You know, I could get in a lot of trouble taking this gun from the scene of murder. But I had a hunch it was worth it. I thought maybe it might be your gun. If it isn't, I'll get it back to the cops and take my chances.
I don't know whether it is or not.
Well, do you own a 45?
Yes, I keep it at the beach house. But even if that turns out to be my gun, Mr. Diamond, I didn't kill Mary Conrad.
Oh, I don't think you did either. You might have wanted to kill her because of the blackmail, but that would be premeditated. You'd plan it, and a man who commits a planned killing doesn't leave the murder weapon around, especially if it happens to belong to him. But if you were in love with her...
I wasn't.
Well, I'm taking that chance. A jealous lover might do a lot of silly things.
I have a wife and family.
I thought about that, too. I'm not sure the police would pay much attention. If the blackmail got out, you'd have a motive. If this gun turns out to be yours, has your fingerprints on it, that would cinch it.
What about the police?
I called them and got out. You know where the shot came from?
I didn't even take time to think about it. I just ran.
There was a heavy smell of cordite on the other side of the room near the bedroom. Bedroom door was ajar. Bedroom window was open. Killer probably shot her from the bedroom. You ran. He threw the gun in beside the body.
What are we going to do?
Well, there's one thing that makes me wonder a little. Mary Conrad asked me to come over to her house, too. What do you suppose she wanted with both of us there?
I can't imagine.
Well, neither can I. It's certainly worth looking into.
Thanks, Diamond.
You know, I've had some pretty fair experiences with murder, GL, but like everybody else, I make mistakes. I hope this is not going to be one of them. I gave GL Harvey 2 instructions. First, find out if he was missing a .45 automatic. Second, go on about his business like nothing had happened. And forget that he'd known Mary Conrad other than casually. I knew I was taking a big chance. Being an accessory after the fact could land me in a lot of hot water. But GL just didn't figure as the killer. And if I was right, someone was trying to fit him for a king-size frame. Why? Who? What was the motive? Those were things I was going to have to find out and find them out in a hurry. So while the police were undoubtedly still busy with an identification on Mary Conrad, I got back in my rented car and took off for Malibu.
Back so soon?
No laughs.
You find out anything?
Where can we talk?
You look like something's wrong.
You should see how Mary Conrad looks. Fred Kane took me in the den and we locked out the rest of the party. I told him just what had happened. And he poured himself a long drink.
Yeah. You think GL really did it?
I want to do some checking on Mary Conrad before I start making any guesses. Now, you said you met her in Las Vegas, didn't you?
That's right.
And then tell me everything you know about her. And he didn't know much. He'd met Mary at the Serena Hotel. Just ran into her at a party. He had seen her several times in the following few days, and she had mentioned she was coming down to L.A. so he'd ask her to look him up. She had, and that was the extent of it.
What do I tell the police? They'll certainly find out who she's been seeing.
It'll take them a while to check. Did she have any other friends?
She never mentioned any.
You met her at the Serena. Was she with anyone?
I don't remember his name.
You remember the date?
It was about a month ago, the last few days I was there.
Oh, well, okay. I'm going to take a trip to Vegas and see if I can find out anything more.
You must really think GL's innocent.
Don't you?
Well, yes. But he certainly had a motive.
Oh, I don't think GL would kill anyone for $100,000. The thing I can't figure is why anyone would want to frame him. What could they gain by it? I drove back to Burbank, grabbed a late plane for Las Vegas. About an hour and a half later, I was checking with the desk clerk at the Serena. We went through the lists of guests during the time Fred Kane's last visit. Kane had checked out on the 8th of October. He said he'd met Mary Conrad several days before. I gave the desk clerk her description, but he didn't remember. And she hadn't been registered at the Serena. So I started checking every hotel and motor court in Vegas. Bartender, give me a scotch and water.
Sure, thanks.
Hey, you look a little beat, friend. Can I buy you a drink?
I just bought one.
Hey, I understand you're trying to find Mary Conrad.
You know her?
Yeah?
Well, friend, I'd like to ask you some questions.
What's it worth?
Depends on how much you know.
I know plenty.
Oh, we'll see. What's your name?
Not here. You got a car outside. We'll take a ride.
Okay. Information, please. Slid off the stool and led the way out of the hotel and out across the parking lot. This guy knew I was looking for Mary Conrad. How? Had to be tipped off or he'd been tailing me. When he walked in front of me, the little old gun in his hip pocket showed up like a bathing beauty on the gorilla farm. Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Where's the car?
Huh? Oh, right over there.
Mm-hmm. The one with the fat guy behind the wheel?
Just a friend.
Oh, sure. I think we talk right here. He thought about it for a second, glanced over at his fat friend sitting in the car, then back at me.
Yes?
Right here.
Okay.
He made up his mind, all right. He grabbed for his right hip pocket and that big gun, but that was as far as he got because I second-guessed it. His friend took off, staying behind a line of parked cars until he was clear of the parking lot and far enough away so I couldn't get in a good shot. I leaned down over the man who had wanted to kill me. He was very dead. Well, I'd held out police evidence in Los Angeles and killed a man in Las Vegas. I was in the spot, and only one lead left. The big fat driver who had taken off in the car. I went through the dead man's pocket and came up with one thing. a $100 gambling chip from the Ace of Clubs casino. How about using that car of yours?
Huh?
Don't turn around, or you'll get mixed up with a lot of bullets.
What do you want?
A talk. Keep looking straight ahead like nothing was happening. I'll kill you if you try anything, I promise you that.
What is this? Who are you?
I just shot a friend of yours in the Serena parking lot.
I've been in my office all night.
Oh, sure. Start walking for the door.
You'll never get away with this, Diamond.
I thought you didn't know me. Start walking.
I own this place, Diamond. My boys are all over the joint.
Well, yell for them once and you have a dirty old hole in your pretty coat.
Look, you and me can discuss this without getting rough.
Out the door. And smile. Now, where's the car?
Across the street.
Hey, wait a minute. A couple of your boys are following us. They look a little worried about me. Tell them how happy you are. Go on.
Okay. Relax, boys. It's okay. Me and my friend are just talking some business.
All right. Across the street. We're going to take a little drive outside of town where we can have some peace and quiet. Just you and me in the desert. good enough. Pull off the road.
Look, Diamond.
Pull off the road.
You know, the cops are going to be out looking for you.
That's why I need some answers in a hurry. Why did your boy try to kill me tonight?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Get out of the car.
Now, look, I
Get out.
What's this going to prove, Diamond?
You're going to start walking. Straight out into that desert. At the end of 100 paces, if you haven't told me what I want to know, you're going to get it. Right in your big, ugly face.
You'll never get away with it.
Walk. Now, that's the trouble with you big, tough guys. Get a fellow in a spot, and you never figure he might just be desperate enough to shoot his way out of it. Why did your boy try to knock me off tonight?
I've got a lot of dough, Diamond. I can get you out of the state and make you rich. I'll swear you killed my boy in self-defense.
How well do you know Mary Conrad?
Well, never heard of her.
I've held out police evidence in California, and I've shot a man in Nevada. I'm in a tough spot. I'll just about do anything.
You kill me, and you'll never find out anything.
I'll keep looking. Who else is mixed up in this? How'd you know who I was?
I found out.
And you're nearly there.
You're bluffing.
You got 15 paces to go.
You'll never get out of town. You kill me, and every cop in the state will be after you.
You're a big man, huh?
I swing a lot of weight.
Well, I don't like your kind of big men. Stop here. How about it? Going to tell me how you're mixed up in this?
Now, wait a minute. This is getting ridiculous.
It's a matter of opinion. You going to tell me?
Wait. You must be nuts. Supposing I did know something. I tell you, you tell the cops. Maybe I knocked off somebody. I get the gas chamber.
Then it shouldn't make any difference to you. This will be a lot quicker.
What do you want to know?
Who's Mary Conrad?
My girl. Her real name's Mary Langley.
Who killed her?
Fred Kane. The guy who works for Jill Harvey.
Why?
Kane owed me a lot of dough. Couldn't pay it. Jill Harvey was to go to the gas chamber for killing someone. Kane had become head of the Harvey Productions.
Why wouldn't Harvey's wife take over?
Well, she'd own it, but Jill's will states that Kane would run it.
How do you fit?
Kane promised me a 50-50 split if I'd lay off about the debt. I talked Mary into it, and Kane introduced her to Harvey. The old boy went for a hook, line, and sinker. Then she started blackmailing him.
So you'd have a motive for murder?
Yeah.
She never figured she was going to get killed.
Oh, she just thought we were going to milk the old boy for the $100,000 and pull out.
How did I fit in?
Harvey's idea. When Kane told me about it, I figured it wouldn't be bad. You could catch Harvey after the murder.
Well, why did you make a date with me, then call Harvey?
Oh, we told her to. Told her you were a private eye working for Harvey's wife. We said that you could be bought, and it would be a good idea to catch her with Harvey.
So you waited in the bedroom until GL came in and you shot her, threw the gun in beside her.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't shoot her. Kane shot her.
Oh, Kane took GL's gun from the Malibu house?
That's right.
Oh, you lame brain. I left Kane at the Malibu house when I went to see Mary. He was there when I got back. Witnesses will swear he was around the whole time. You killed the girl and hopped the plane back here for Vegas.
No, I didn't kill her.
Go over by that rock.
Take it easy, Diamond.
Go on.
Okay, I shot her. I hid in the bedroom and shot her. But you won't be around to talk about it.
Come on, get up. Get up. Oh, for Pete's sake, now I have to carry him back to the car.
Richard Diamond, private detective, has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.